everybody ready? Yeah! All right, now here we go. A one, a two, a one,
Let's get it on. Get Sunday covered. It's week 9 and it's in the books. NFL trade deadline is here. Fantasy trade deadlines are quickly approaching, and we've got a ton to talk about. My name is Cody. I'm excited to be joined once again by Brandon and Jordan, and as well this week, a very special guest. Welcome back, Seven. How you doing,
Hey,
brother?
let's go. Let's go. Good to be back.
Well, welcome back, Seven.
Welcome
Name is your name Seven because you're always in 7th place, or what's up with the name Seven?
I'm in 9th right now. Thank you very much.
All right, I was trying to give you credit.
You get it right.
Yeah.
Hey man, as long as you give Whitney the back-to-back toilet bowl, I think you're all right.
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do.
You weren't in the toilet bowl last year, were you?
I was 2 years in a row.
So are we gonna have a toilet bowl rematch this year?
Let's hope
Hopefully
not.
not. I'm hoping not.
Oh man. We gotta guys, I had a pretty decent week of fantasy football. Things got wild, things got crazy. I enjoyed it. How did you guys feel about the week? I thought it went pretty well.
I went 6-1. I lost one game this week.
You did.
Yes, you did.
Just one? That's
one.
it?
That's it.
What happened? What happened in that
Kareem
one
Hunt.
meeting? You did say, oh yes, sir.
Goddamn overtime. I had it. Gave me hope. I honestly didn't expect to win going into Monday night. And then I checked at like halftime and I was like, oh, I actually might have a chance. Yeah, that got ripped right away from me.
Jordan, Seven, let me tell you guys, I was perhaps glued to this game because I came into Monday Night Football down by what, 11
and a half-ish.
3, something like that, right? Sleeper's gassing me up, man. Says you're projected to win 60-40, no problem, dude. You got this. And I'm watching the game and I'm like, where is Kareem Hunt, dude? He's not playing at all. I'm watching. 2 points, 3 points, man. And my projections is just like going down. I said, all right, you know what? I'm good. It's fine. Take the L. I'll have to talk about this tomorrow on the podcast. Brandon texts me, says, how you feeling right now, brother? I said, don't talk to me, bro. Leave me alone. And then overtime, bro. Like, what a way to end that. This is a fantasy matchup that I love to watch. It pans out. Baker taking them down. The Bucks score, tie the game. Everybody in the world, everybody in America at least, says Bucks go for 2. You gotta go for 2. I'm literally laying in bed watching this, and I'm like, please just kick the field goal. Just
go to overtime.
That's all you need to do. Just tie the game. Give yourself another shot. And they did. And we all saw what happened, man. It was the Kareem Hunt show in overtime. Brandon, I got you, buddy. I'll admit it, man. This is where the 90% luck comes in. I thought it was an awesome game.
Oh, it was a great matchup, and honestly, I can't be mad because my team did throw up 150 points. Like, I can't be mad at that.
That's what I mean, dude. Like this was a glorious matchup. Like it was for fantasy when we don't actually have to do anything. Like this matchup was pretty intense.
This matchup was probably one of the best matchups of the year so far within our league. It was back and forth all weekend long, and I mean, it came down to literally the last drive in that game.
Yeah, to win it. So yeah, like with Kareem Hunt, Cody, I know you were sweating it out. In my league, I was down by maybe like 12.3 points, and I thought it was over. I could have started Hopkins, could have started Rashad White, but no, I put Hunt in the flex, and it paid off. Thank goodness for overtime and them getting the ball first and getting a chance. It was nice to, I don't know, to get the win like that. Like I just feel kind of grimy about it, but like a dub's a dub. But like how you're talking about, like we might have been talking about before the podcast even came on about Kareem Hunt, like going, like dude, it might have been the third or fourth quarter. I don't know if you guys remember, but they gave it to Kareem Hunt like 7 times straight. Like he just went down the field. It was like 7 carries for like 48 yards. And all I can think about, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Varsity Blues with James Vanderbeek and I can't remember John Voight, the head coach of the team. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, but it's like stereotypical stuff. It's a black running back. They give him the ball all the way down the field. They get to the end zone. They give it to a white player. And it's like, damn, Kilmore runs me down the field the whole time and I never get the score. It's kind of how I felt about Kareem Hunt. Give the man the ball at the goal line. Like, let him score once. Like, that's all I really wanted. So there was a couple times he did get it on the goal line and he got stuffed. And it's like, and the one time they threw it to DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm like, good for him, but I'm like, it's 1 yard. Give the man the ball one more time. He's going to get you a touchdown. So I was happy to get the win from Kareem Hunt. I wish overtime rules were changed somehow, some way, shape, or form, because you don't get to see Baker Mayfield in overtime. Right? You don't get to see the Chiefs defense, Chris Jones. Like, I'm sure those guys want to play in overtime too and have an impact to win the game for their team. You know, think about that. Like the Chiefs go down, they score, Baker gets the ball back. You don't get the punt. The only option is you got to go down and score. It's 4th and 29. You're going for it. Like that's exciting football, right? Like you have to go down and score. So it's like more entertainment for the NFL. I think maybe it was 7. You even said something about just do regular overtime, you know, where it's a 15-minute period. So I don't know. It was a good week for fantasy for me. Good Monday night game. But yeah, it's a good week. So see here moving forward. How was your week, 7?
My week started with Garrett Wilson putting up 30 in my face, and I was like, well, that's how this week's gonna go. Awesome. My other league, I have my gambit of running backs with Jonathan Taylor and Gibbs and James Cook and Tank Bigsby and Pollard and J.K. Dobbins, and I still can't figure out which running backs to start consistently. So I had Pollard and Dobbins on my bench again, who both put up 23 and 19. I was like, are you kidding me again? Last week, duds. This week, should have started him. I don't know what to say, but I still won barely. It's a half-point PPR. There's bonuses for quarterbacks and some other stuff that goes on, but I barely won. I needed Baker to stay under 30 points, and I got it, thankfully. So
win is a win is a win.
Yep. Yeah, and then I, lost to Whitney in the Reaper League, so there's that.
Who's she taking?
I don't know. She hasn't told me yet, so I was eagerly awaiting to see who she's taking off my roster that I'm not paying attention to.
Who do you think she's going to take?
Oh, probably Kupp. He's the best player that's on that team, or maybe Eckler. I don't know. There's a couple players, but nobody really worth much.
She might take Mooney.
Yeah.
I would take Mooney over Kupp right now.
She'd probably take Mooney because of London.
That's true.
Dude, Whitney's about to be relegated to like full-time Reaper if she doesn't get her shit together in the main league.
Like anytime I feel bad about my team, I go and look at hers, and I'm like, all right, I feel a little bit better now.
All right, it's not that bad.
Or Seamus. I go and like to watch his scores too.
Seamus was
Oh,
awfully
man.
quiet today, huh?
Oh yeah,
It was quiet
100.
last week too. There wasn't all the on the podcast last week with his memes and gifs. Number two,
I
can you hear me in
love
the
it,
back?
dude.
He's quiet.
It,
He's back-to-back losses and he's on the bubble now. So Mr.
listen to
So
me.
confident being number 2 seed has dropped to on the bubble at 6.
This is
Mm-hmm.
100% why the league needs people like Seamus, right?
Yes.
He gets you all fired up and he gets you all stirred up when he's doing well, and then a couple back-to-back losses, and it's just all right. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. It's such good content, man. In the
Yes.
group chat, it's the best content. But
I agree.
all right, guys. Well, let's move into our content for today. We do have another listener question this week, so I just want to bring it to your attention and see your guys' thoughts on this. This is not really a bad time to bring this up. We're 10 weeks in. This is week 10 of the fantasy season already, if you can believe it. But looking forward to next year, we're talking determining draft order, man. This has been something for GSC Main that we've struggled with for quite a while. We've done a couple of different things, the Spotify shuffle, and then there was the algorithm has something to do with it, which is true. The drawing the names out of the hat, which all reliable, but I think it's kind of boring. One of our listeners wants to know, what are your thoughts on doing a draft lottery, kind of like the NHL or the NBA does it? First overall pick, and that kind of avoids the tanking aspect, for example. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know. I always think it's interesting. Like I get why they put it in there, so you can't just tank and you're getting automatic number one. Obviously, you've seen it in every league throughout history of drafts. The number one pick doesn't always mean it's going to turn your franchise around or it's going to be overwhelming. I think I'm for it. Like I like it because it means literally if you have the worst record, it doesn't mean you're getting the first pick. Like some people say the lottery is rigged with weighted balls, and especially in the NHL that it only goes to big market teams. Like, which there is a history of it doing that, going to original six teams or big market teams to get them the first pick to get them back in relevance. I don't know. I'd say I'm for it. Like I think it has more pros than it does cons to help out. I think overall.
Yeah, I would agree with Jordan. I would be all for it. I think it would definitely help with some integrity with the NFL, especially looking at, everyone's criticizing the Chiefs left and right, because they do get, quite a bit of calls going their way, whether it's, player jumping off sides and there's no flag or whatever, like last night.
Oh, I was
False
strictly
start.
thinking
Yeah.
fantasy. I didn't even consider this as like an actual NFL thing.
No, this question is in regards to NFL, not
Yeah.
fantasy.
I took this as doing like legitimate, like in the actual NFL is how I took it.
Fantasy,
Right.
I mean, I think it's irrelevant for us because we don't have any system in place where it's last to first.
Well, that's my point. That's why I phrased the question the way I did. So maybe I sound like an idiot, but go ahead and continue, Brandon.
I was
Sorry.
wondering.
I'm good. 7.
I think the lottery is a good idea too, but I honestly think it should be whoever wins the Super Bowl gets the number one overall pick, and you flip the whole thing over. I think that creates more of an incentive to go out there and actually win it all, rather than, oh, I won, cool, now I get the last pick of the draft. Great, I don't think it's earned to get the first overall pick and then just suck to get it. That doesn't really sit well with me. It never has. I mean, the Saints are in prime position right now to get a terrible or a good pick up at the top, but we're not going to do anything with it. Why should we earn that right to have a top pick when our team is awful?
7. I'm going to say something now, and it might be completely out of the blue. but I have a weird feeling you guys just fired your head coach. You got Shador Sanders coming to the Saints, and then Coach Prime coming hit
Oh,
right behind him.
I don't know how I feel about that quite yet.
They're already
It's a
going there with
possibility, but
gold sunglasses. It's going to blend in with their colors. Like
Same
they're just rolling
colors,
straight
like
in.
yeah,
They're
they
just
just
putting
roll right over.
patches over the CU stuff, putting
Yeah.
Saints logos.
and then Shador can play his rap album in warm ups every day, just like he does right now.
In the Superdome.
Yeah, I think they would love it there, but I want a legacy to continue. I don't want to take a quarterback this year. I'd rather wait till next year. I'd rather see Arch Manning come over to the Saints.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit later about the Saints and more about your team, talking about them. I don't know
Cody,
if Cody, you want to
what do
talk
you
about?
I'll just jump in briefly here with this debate. I think the lottery works for the NHL and the NBA because their rosters are considerably smaller. So when you look at, mixing it up as far as, like the lottery system, the ping pong balls that go into the roller, like I don't think it has as much of an impact as it does for a 50 plus person roster to get that marquee player that is legitimately going to make a difference. For example, if you're a team like the Saints that are looking for a quarterback and you have the number one pick, you can go whatever best quarterback you think that you need or whatever. On a smaller roster, I just feel like maybe it's a little bit easier to, like, I don't know, I guess shop around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you've got 50 roster spots to fill, it's easier to do that with fifth and sixth round picks, whereas it's not really like that with the NHL and the NBA. That's all.
I agree.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to move into the hot topic of the week here. I think Cody brought this up about Jason Kelsey. If anyone saw the video of him smashing the fan's phone, I don't know if anything was actually ever put out about what the fan was actually saying. Like, I don't know. I put a lot of thought in this. Like, I was pretty heated with Cody. I'm still like, to me, it's like, as far as Jason Kelsey goes, I don't know your guys' opinions. It's everyone's opinion, but to me, it's like super immature. And it's like, dude, you played in Philadelphia. You mean you didn't hear anything worse in the crowd? Like, people not calling your brother? Like, how many times did throughout his career, Jason, your brother's better than you? Sure, you heard that every day of his life. Probably motivated the dude. Like, why go out of line and smash someone's phone because they're talking crap about your brother and Taylor Swift? Like, all that is jealousy. Like I always like told people, especially it happens in the NHL, the biggest form of flattery is when the opposing fans boo you when you have the puck. That just means they know you. Everyone knows you. They want to be you. They're jealous. They want the attention. People are just gonna be clowns to be clowns. Like, I don't know. I look at it as he crossed the line. Like, you don't need to break someone's phone over that. Like, you can say something back to the person, but one of those things, actions are louder than words. I don't know if violence is the solution here. I don't know what the solution is. I don't get me wrong, because I probably would have fought someone in that situation, but I've never been a professional and paid millions of dollars to hear this every day in an opposing crowd, people talking crap about me or my family. Like, you're a professional, dude. Like, I'm sure he's heard worse playing on the road in stadiums or from other fans. So I don't know. Maybe him and his wife had a bad morning. Like, something just set him off in a bad way to get started on the day, and that was the path he was on. Like, he was ready to break something. Limp Bizkit break stuff. Like, just one of those days.
Just one of those days.
So, like, who knows? So, he put out the apology. I think he's genuinely. I think he's like I don't think he means any harm. I think he's a good guy. I just sometimes it's like, come on, man, grow up. Like, you're a professional. Like, you're not a player now. You're an analyst and work for a studio, and you have a job.
He's lucky he didn't get Ray Rice
by this, but I'll let you guys jump in. Anybody
you
else
guys-
want to jump in before
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I think I watched the video. The kid was antagonizing him and just trailing behind him. And at one point, bro, like I understand, dude, if you're gonna follow right on my ass and be there, your actions are gonna have consequences. Fuck around and find out.
Yep.
Guess what?
Straight up.
You wanna start talking shit? Guess what? Talk shit, get hit.
It's
the way it
20
was back in the day.
2024. You can't say that.
Right? Like
Like I'm a similar size as
everyone's
Jason
soft.
Kelsey, but I am not going to go up and try to antagonize that man because I'm pretty sure he could fold me in half still. You know, like that's stupid. Now, if you're trying to chase a paycheck, maybe that goes a little bit of a different way, and you try and get a little bit money in your pocket too. But you know, that's
Like as the kid that has the phone, you're saying?
yeah,
Like him get
yeah,
assaulted by
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey to sue him.
yeah.
Like
I'll
absolutely.
take a
Like
hit in the face
I'll
for
take
you know
I'll take a punch for $1
$500,000.
million.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like sign me up. Like
Let's
I'm
do
all
it.
about that.
Here's my thing. This is what I don't understand about the situation. Brandon, I gotta be honest, I'm on your side with this. Like, there's only so much, like, celebrity or not, they're still people. And
They're
if you're,
humans,
I
bro.
don't care if you're talking shit to a regular person or you're talking shit to a celebrity, when you're yelling slurs and being an asshole like that, that's all that you are is an asshole.
Yeah.
Period. Did he deserve to get his cell phone smashed? I don't know, man. That's whatever. But like you said, play with fire, you might get burned. Here's my biggest thing, the situation. What is Jason Kelsey doing walking down a regular ass sidewalk with all of these students and all of these fans and all of these phones and all of these cameras? What are you even doing there? Don't be there. Don't put yourself in that situation. If you're going to have that status, if you're going to be that guy, take a golf cart to wherever you're going like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how else to say that. Like, why are you there?
So
You
who's
know,
the
I'm
original
not saying-
antagonizer then?
That's what I'm saying. Like, are you just going down there to like fire these kids up and like be
Well, he was
that
down
guy
there
that's-
for a charity kick with Pat
Yeah.
Mac.
Sure, but you see Pat McAfee walking through the crowd with those kids without security
Well,
around him?
From what Pat said was he thought Jason was going in with them, but he didn't.
Either way.
I'm not blaming this situation Jason Kelsey. It's a stupid situation and it shouldn't happen. You know, you think about going to a games just as a fan and getting into fights with people in the stands and people, you know, getting beat up and stabbed or whatever it is. It's ridiculous. There's no place for it, in my opinion.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, like don't put yourself in that situation, dude. You're a public figure at this point. You're on TV at least once a week. You've got your podcast that's up there in the top at least 5 of podcasts anywhere right now. Don't do it, dude. Like, just don't be around there. And if you do, you better make sure that you can handle people talking shit to you. I
Yep.
don't know. That's how I feel about it.
I agree.
7.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, two wrongs don't make a right in this situation. I think he obviously should have avoided it. I think it's dumb that he doesn't have somebody with him that can help push people away from him at this point. Like,
Yeah, there
I
was
know
like
you're-
no security.
yeah, like I know you think you're a big guy, can take care of yourself, but obviously you show that you don't have the maturity to do that. You know, these are college kids. They're rowdy. They're drinking more than Jason Kelsey is right now. You know, like
I'll be real honest with you, man. If I was walking through a crowd like that and these guys were talking shit about you guys the way that they were, I might have the same reaction. So I don't blame him at all. Like,
no.
you want the business, man. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna
I'll
get
give
it.
it to you.
I feel like the fans just lucky that it was just his phone that got broken. You know, easily could have just been hit in the face, and that was the end of the story.
I think it was like maybe earlier this year or sometime last year, but do you guys see the video of when Jason Kelsey and his wife were out and there was some drunk broad that was heckling them
Yeah.
and his wife handled the business?
Yeah.
Yep.
I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it, man. Like, you're embarrassing yourself. Like, yeah, I wouldn't fuck with them, dude. Just leave him alone.
Yeah.
All right, Seven. Well, we're really excited to have you back, man. And because you are back, we're going to kind of let you take the reins here. We're going to pass this off to you to give us some of your insight and some of your opinion as our resident Saints fan. We're going to move into Seven Talks the Saints. What do you got for us, my guy?
Man, so we're going to start off with the best thing that could ever happen on a Monday to your terrible team, which is the head coach gets fired. That is the absolute greatest thing. I know I was looking at my phone, I was just checking it real quick, and I saw Dennis Allen has been fired. I was like, yes. I go in the group chat. Cody's like, Seven, your prayers have been answered. Dennis Allen's been fired. I was like, let's go. Like, I was already hyped up. It's a Monday. I don't want to be at work. Nobody wants to be awake. And that just made my whole day. You know,
to your credit,
champagne,
Seven. Yeah, to your credit, you were kind of praising for him to be fired for at least 4 weeks, I'd say 3-4 weeks
since last season.
Oh yeah, I meant this season, but yeah, every week someone's getting fired or something bad's happening, and you're like, well, I wish that was to Dennis Allen. And
yes.
So that's why the prayers were finally answered for Seven.
Yeah. You know, he's got one of the worst records as a head coach. He's like 26-51. Can't have that. Shouldn't have been left that long to have him just sitting there letting the team suck.
Good defensive coordinator, not a head coach.
Exactly.
Josh McDaniels.
I
loved offensive coordinator. Yeah.
I loved him as our DC before he took over the team. Did great. Not so much as a head coach. Yeah. Go somewhere else.
What do you think, like, is the reason for that, though? Like, I kind of feel like this situation, you know, he was kind of gifted this position when Sean Payton left, and it was one of those, like, I don't know, he kind of like hold a fast one on the team and the fans of like, I'm the guy for the job, when reality, like a fake it till you make it type of scenario, and he just never made it. Like,
no, definitely. I think what happened is, hey, Sean Payton endorsed this guy. Got to take it. You know, Sean Payton was our coach for so long, and he did so much great things for that team with so many winning seasons. We won a Super Bowl and everything. And they trusted Sean Payton. You know, our owner inherited the team from her husband whenever he passed away, and the team was kind of handed over to the GM and Payton. They were like, hey, you guys can make the decisions. So Sean Payton leaves. It's now your turn, Dennis Allen. You can do this. You should know enough from working under Sean Payton. Well, then he has the first year. Hey, you know what? First year he doesn't have Breeze. We're in a transition year. Cut him some slack. So they go and get Derek Carr. Okay, well, it's Derek Carr's first season.
Or use Corolla, as you refer to him.
Use Corolla.
The best nickname.
Give him a year. Hey, you know, he's got to learn the system. It's a new system for him. And I'm glad we finally ran out of excuses, because I could not deal with another year of, oh, well, it's Kubiak's first year as an offensive coordinator. And I was just going to just rage quit and start burning Saints jerseys, you know, at that point. Like, it was about to get real ugly if I had to hear another year of excuses. So, but fun fact, this is the second time Dennis Allen has been fired in the middle of the season, and it was because Derek Carr was his quarterback.
With the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's great. I'm just glad. Let's go get a good head coach. I would personally like the Lions OC as a head coach. You know, that's my big up in stars wish for a head coach right now.
You don't want Bill?
No, I don't really want Bill. I saw what happened with Bill at the end of his Patriots run, and we don't have nearly a good enough roster for him. You know.
Did you? I don't know if you had this on your agenda, Seven. Did you see that? I don't know what they call it now, since it's not Twitter. Did you see the X comment by Michael Thomas about Derek Carr?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I mean, he roasted him, and I feel
yes.
And I feel like that's how a lot of people feel. And I always I thought Derek Carr, I remember this kid coming out of Fresno State, like he was good, like supposed to be like better than his brother, this and that. I always tell people Derek Carr, I think it was 2017, that MVP run he was on, and then he broke his leg, and there's the famous audio of my leg, it's broken, my legs, it's broken, and He knows his leg's broken. And Michael Thomas said it like perfectly last night. Like someone that played with him and like knows him, like came out and said, like, I've always felt ever since he broke his leg, he just looks scared. Anytime there's
Yes.
pressure, he just like hurdle,
Yep.
like insta just going in like scared. So I don't know.
Understandable.
I feel like everyone's struggling for getting a quarterback and getting a franchise quarterback. Every team, like look at the Broncos since Sean Elway, they haven't. Maybe Bo Nix. The
Yep.
Steelers since Roethlisberger's been gone. Like every team goes through it, man. It's just getting that franchise quarterback is few and far between. So I don't believe in Carr. I don't think he's your future. Like you guys are firing the coach. Like let's get Carr out of here. I thought your boy from South Carolina, I liked him in college. I thought he was going to do better,
Rattler.
but yeah,
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler, he didn't look very good. So I don't know. We'll see what you guys do. I'm sure you'll
Great value, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I don't know. As far as quarterback goes, I have a firm belief that the Packers have the right system in place. Draft a quarterback 2-3 years before you need one in the first round and let them sit. That way they can develop and they can get used to the NFL speed by watching it. They have a great mentor that can teach them how to keep up with it. And they should have done that with Breeze before Breeze had a noodle arm. That's how that should have happened. And they keep making the excuse, oh, we were going to get Patrick Mahomes, but then the Chiefs traded up in front of us and got him. Okay. And then you did what afterwards? You drafted, we had one great, good couple years where we drafted Michael Thomas and then we drafted Lattimore and Kamara. And then after that, terrible picks until Olave, who then got a hospital ball from Carr and should be in the same conversation as Tua as you should retire at this point.
got knocked out.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
2 concussions, real bad concussions this season alone. Like it's not looking good. And then he can join our 13 other players that are on IR right now with Shaheed and Ramczyk and Paulson Adebo. We've got so many great players that are just sitting on IR right now. That's part of the reason why we're doing bad, but it's not the sole reason. So I don't know. I think Derek Carr should last the rest of his contract. Let's draft a quarterback, let him sit under Carr for at least a year, and then move on. We've got to eat the cap anyways.
Not a bad
I
choice.
agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're just going to continue to suck. Might as well get some picks out of it while we're at it.
Sell the
with
team.
that,
Yeah.
sell the team. With that Olave situation, you think he plays again this year?
I think he will. We have to have him on the field. We don't have any other wide receivers. We drafted Bub Means this year, and he's on IR too. Shaheed's on IR, out for the rest of the season. We don't have anybody to throw the ball to. We don't have anybody on defense.
Y'all got a practice squad.
Yeah.
Starters.
Since we were talking about Varsity Blues, you guys ever seen the movie Not Another Teen Movie?
Yeah.
Of course.
They kind of make fun of the
Split
football
him in
stuff.
half.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's like that the first football. He's like, can he breathe? Put him out there. I don't care if he's hurt.
Yep.
And they put him out there, and then the next, the football one where player gets split in half. That's where the Saints are. Just I don't care if this dude's injured and he might die on the field. Just we need him out there this year. Get him out there.
They
Get
got
it
the
going.
Reggie Wayne concussion counter.
Yep, that's it. I think I posted that for Tua at one point.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You
That
did.
was good.
100%.
That was good.
But hey, at least we made the right move so far. We traded away Lattimore. Anytime a Saints player leaves, I still root for them. I appreciate everything that Lattimore did with shutting down Evans and, making Evans his son for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
Great football. Always loved watching them fight. And hopefully he'll go off and win a Super Bowl with the Commanders. That would be fantastic, and I'd love that for him. On top of, like Trey Hendrickson, whenever him and Von Bell, who used to be with the Saints as well, when they were in the Super Bowl with the Bengals, I rooted for the Bengals just for them. I still root for them. I was afraid Kamara was going to leave, but he stayed. Hopefully he'll retire safe with Cam Jordan and Demario Davis, but it's time to rebuild that team. Our GM has been kicking the can down the road long enough, and I'm ready to kick him down the road too. And It's time to really rebuild that team.
I agree.
Yeah.
I can't argue that much at all, but I do think I don't know, it's interesting that you brought it up. They're falling apart on both sides of the ball. Like you said,
Yep.
Lattimore leaving town. That may have been one of the biggest moves of today, and that'll bring us into this next segment, the trade deadline. Guys, I don't know. I didn't really feel like outside of like defensive moves, did anything really exciting happen for the trade deadline? I mean, Mingo went to the Cowboys, Mike Williams to the Steelers, Smith to the Lions. Like, I
Your biggest upside there is definitely Mike Williams of the Steelers. I
said
was
the
shocked by
Steelers
this
fan.
as a Steelers fan. I saw they were going after Adam Thielen also. Um, I honestly felt the Steelers were just fine with Pickens and Calvin Austin and Von Jefferson. Like, I was fine with the way things were going. Maybe this will help Mike Williams. Like, I don't know, maybe that he's not getting yelled at by Aaron Rodgers now. He's got praise job by Russell Wilson there. So maybe that'll get his game mojo back up a little bit. I mean, it can't hurt
Doesn't
us, right?
matter if you
But
catch the ball as long as you're having fun.
yeah, as long as you're my teammate and you got a smile on your face, that's all we're here to do today. So yeah, I mean, I think Mike Williams has the biggest upside. I'm sure if you go look at Sleeper right now, like he probably got added a bunch because people were like, people get excited for no reason on stuff
Yeah.
like this before anyone's done anything. But yeah, I don't think there's. I don't know why the Cowboys are buying anybody. They need to sell because they can't afford anything except for CD Lamb and overpaid Dak Prescott. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't think anything is fantasy relevant. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Not really anything fantasy relevant. It might be interesting to keep an eye on Williams, um, see what he does, but for the most part, Herbert, he won't do much. Um, Everything else was really defensive. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw a couple rumors that maybe Thielen would go somewhere, but nothing really happened there. So not really anything exciting. I think majority of the offensive trades were all the wide receivers that were already traded,
Yeah, that already
before
happened. Yeah.
that had already happened.
Happened early.
Like Mingo's not going to do anything for the Cowboys. Dak's about to
Well,
go on
that's what I
IR.
was gonna say.
Like
Yeah.
Cooper Rush, who gives like I work with a bunch of Cowboys fans, and I was like, "Hey, you guys made a trade today." And they're like, "What for who?" And I was like, "Jonathan Mingo." They're like, "Who?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Who the
exactly."
fuck is
Exactly.
Jonathan Mingo?
Yeah.
It was just a waste of a 4th round pick for them. Like that was they got fleeced in that
You know
one.
what?
So good
They
job.
overpaid for him.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
But I thought that the fantasy footballers made a really good point in their episode today when they were talking about the Jonathan Mingo trade, that maybe, just maybe,
Already
he was
know.
drafted by a team that has no development process. And if he gets into the right situation, he could blossom. And to be honest with you, that's an outcome I could see. With Cooper Rush, I don't know if I believe that, but I don't know. Put the kid in the right situation.
it's Trey
He's
Lance
a
season.
peacock. You got to let him fly.
Yeah. I don't think they should have signed Dak to that big contract. They should have let him walk, make it the Trey Lance show, and then that would have been a lot better. Cowboys isn't the right situation for him either, I feel. I mean, that's the Jerry Jones show
Yep.
over there. And until he
Yep.
dies, that
They
team
won't win a
will
Super
be
Bowl. Thank you. I was about to say, until Jerry Jones dies, they will never win another Super Bowl.
tough. Yeah.
I honestly think you're right, man.
He brings them down, dude. You can't be the owner, the GM controlling the team. So like you own the team. You're the one giving these guys money to pay these guys. Like be an owner like Mark Cuban. Like
Yeah.
super involved with the team. Like you're there. You want to be there to support the team. Like you're pumped for these guys. Like
Yeah.
they're they're your employees. Like you want them to win, but like that's why you hire people that know more knowledge than you. Like obviously it's hard for us to sit here and talk when this dude's got billions of dollars but it's just like obviously there's something's changed when you haven't won anything in 30 years, so it's like
Yep.
something's got to change.
Well, I mean, there's that old saying, right? Like, if you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Like, maybe take a step back a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to continue to be the owner, that's fine. But like this whole all-in nonsense last year, and then they didn't do anything this year, and then dumped all that money into two players that are both now hurt, and they
All
have
in was
no
Derrick
other
Henry.
option. Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, the thing is Jerry Jones wants to credit. That's it. If they win a Super Bowl, he wants it to be, I did it. I built this team.
Mhm.
I controlled it. And my dad is the lifelong Cowboys fan, just hates Jerry Jones. He won't go to any games. He doesn't buy any jerseys or anything like that because he doesn't want to support them at all at this point. He just thinks because Jerry Jones runs that team that he's doing an awful job and that any money he gives into that organization just lines his pocket. He wants no part of it.
Quick note on the Cowboys. I don't know if you guys knew this. I saw on the Pat McAfee show they were talking about the Cowboys, how they're one of the few teams that run a year-long tour of the
Ability.
AT&T Stadium there, and they said they make like $10.1 million on it. And they talked about how there's like clear glass in the workout room, so dudes are just lifting weights and like people are just walking by. Like JJ
It's like
Watt
a
talked about it.
zoo.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. JJ Watt talked about it, how they practiced there after Hurricane Ian, Isaac, I don't whatever hit Houston, and it forced Houston to move, and they were practicing at Dallas. And he said, state of the art facility, it was the best workout equipment, but he's like, people would literally be walking by, like he's like, people would bang on the glass, like, and that's what they said, like, want you to lift weights, like you're in a zoo, like, and he's like, I get it. He's like, he's in it. He's a businessman. He's making money. He's making over $10 million, and he's like, this is to pay your players in Dallas. So I thought that was interesting, but I don't
I'd
know.
hate that. I'd hate that. I mean, I work disconnected from customers, and whenever they come back there, I hate it. I'm like, go away.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You're just trying to work out and do your own thing, and there's
I
just
don't
people
need you
watching you.
here.
yeah. No, I do
Oh.
want to do a tour just to do it, and just
Just
as
to
I
see.
walk by.
Seriously. All right. Well, with that being said, we'll jump into the club. A lot of updates coming this week. So keep an eye on socials between all 10 leagues. I know there's been a shakeup in a couple of the leagues overall. Who's
Yes, there has.
on top?
Mhm.
College basketball starting, boys.
Started.
Yeah. So that means March Madness is right around the corner. So GSE bracket pool will be out, but it's your
Absolutely.
time to pay attention and start to prep for that time.
Yeah, we had a good one last year, man. What do we have? Like 24, 25 people
Yeah,
in the
we
pool
had
last year?
20 something, mid 20s, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested, man, seriously, we're gonna start posting stuff about March Madness and things of that nature, but keep an eye out for stuff like that because last year's March Madness got wild. I mean, it wasn't until literally the Final Four before we knew like who was gonna be in it, and it was fun. Do you guys, let me ask you this, do you guys watch college basketball at all?
Yes. I
Honestly?
watch some, but like only at an opportune time when I'm actually there's nothing else on.
But like marquee games, right? Like Duke versus North Carolina
Yes.
and shit like that.
Yes. I'll watch those.
Yeah.
There's so many teams, dude.
It's like
So many.
368 D1 basketball schools.
You would know that, Jordan. You would
It's
know
not-
that.
I know it is the most D1 schools like for sports because they talked about how it's like you need the least amount of players. Like technically you could have 8 guys and you could have a team for D1, but yeah, there's so many schools and that's why I think March Madness
352.
352. So yeah, I guess
you,
Price
Brian.
is Right style. I lost. I was over.
You weren't bad though. I believed you. I just wanted to
$1.
verify.
Yeah, I knew it was high, and I know it's like the highest one, but I think that's why March Madness is cool to all these schools, like I always tell people, like same thing as in college hockey or football's trying to get to that point kind of where if you win your conference, you have an automatic bid into
Yep.
the playoffs, like into the tournament. So like
Yes.
basketball's always done that. So I always feel like even if you're a garbage team going into your own conference tournament, if you win that, you get an automatic bid into the tournament, and who knows, anything can happen at that point. You could beat anyone. So I think that's what draws people to college basketball is just the Cinderella beating these top teams and stuff like that. Speaking of Cinderellas and stuff, I don't know if there's going to be any Cinderellas winning this week in football. I don't know if there's any big upsets per se, but talking about games of the week, I don't know what you guys got on the agenda for games of the week, but I'll start off with mine for Steelers and Commanders. I think this is a pretty big game for both teams. I think it's a big game for Russ against a kind of a top quality team out there in the NFL this year, kind of a surprise. Um, I think it's a big game for Jaden Daniels playing against that Steelers defense with TJ Watt. I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I don't expect it to be a high scoring game, but usually in these type of games where it's supposed to be low scoring, it's going to be like a 38-35 type game or something crazy. So I'm expecting a fun, entertaining game, but I think the Steelers are gonna come out ahead on this one.
Man, that was gonna be my question for you when you put this up here. Is like the Steelers win this, man. They're
They're in the talks.
what when does the bubble burst? Is my question for you as the Steelers fan. Like, do you think they can keep it up? Because they're looking nice right now, man. Honestly, like
They just upgraded their defense too, didn't they?
Yeah, they got somebody from Green Bay.
Yeah, someone I've never heard of.
I think it was just a depth signing or a depth trade. I think that's all it really was.
Yeah, probably money
Veteran
management.
pass rusher Preston Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's older.
Like we
I don't
had
know,
this
I mean-
question on the show last week. Do the Steelers make the playoffs and do they win the division? Like, I don't know, man. They look nice.
I don't know about the division, but they'll definitely make the playoffs.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see. Obviously, when they play the Ravens, I mean, this is
That'll be
this is a huge game for the Steelers. Like they win this game going into divisional play here for like they play all their divisional games in the second half of the season, so it's going to be pretty tough sledding for them. I think getting Russ in, like Mike Tomlin said, getting Russ in before these divisional games. And I think, this will be his third game back, and he's looked good. We've already talked about it. I think he looks good.
Yes.
Like, I think Pickens is only going to get better with him. This is Pickens by far best quarterback he's ever had throwing the ball to him. I'm excited for him, man. As a Steelers fan, like, I think I put a dollar on Justin Fields to be the MVP of the league for some crazy odds, but I had zero expectations. Like if we came in and we were a 500 record team again, cool. Like, but I don't think the expectations were high. Like no one really knew with Fields and Wilson, and I don't know. I mean, hats off to Mike Tomlin. He's an awesome coach and knows what the hell he's doing.
I feel like this is also going to
forgive me
be.
Go
I feel
ahead,
like
Tim.
this is going to be Daniels' toughest defense he's gone up against too. Like he went down to the wire with the Bears, and that came down to a Hail Mary. I feel like TJ Watt's going to give him some business, and that's going to really be like this is grown man football. So we'll see. But I definitely feel like if Russell Wilson can keep up with the offense for the Steelers, and I think they could easily win that with just that defense alone, shutting them down.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I'll jump in here and I'll take the Steelers also. It's in Washington, which I think is maybe not as big of an advantage as people in other states and teams might have. But I agree with what both of you guys said. I'll take the Steelers here.
I'm going to agree as well. I think so. That's a clean sweep on the Steelers for all of us.
Yep.
I'll jump into my game, but before I do, I do want to mention last week I just ran the numbers. I went 3 for 3. Cody and Jordan, you both went Cody, you went 1 for 3, and Jordan, you went 2 for 3. So sorry. You both went 2 for 3. So Cody, you and I are now tied at 15 out of 22. And Jordan, you're just that one game back at 14.
Loser.
So my game of the week this week is going to be Lions versus the Texans down in Houston. Texans really do need Nico back. Be interesting to see kind of if there's any update on him this week. I haven't seen anything as of yet.
Last I heard that they were going to
I saw he
monitor
was
his progress throughout the week. Was the
yeah,
quote from the coach.
I saw he
Which
was
doesn't sound
trying
good to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw he was planning on being back this weekend, which they need him.
I hope so, man.
This would be a huge win for Texans at home. They won this game. This could change their momentum right back in their favor. CJ Stroud did not look good last week. He hasn't obviously looked that great this year compared to his rookie season. People are calling it that sophomore slump. I'd still take him over a lot of quarterbacks in the league right now. So I think they'll get it figured out. They got a good team, good defense, just good all around team, good head coach.
I still don't think they beat the Lions though.
No, it's hard.
I'm going with the Lions.
After all that talk, it's kind of like that thing. Like, I don't know if on another Pat McAfee show reference at the SEC championship game last year, Pat McAfee's getting the whole crowd riled up with the Georgia chant, the Georgia song. And he's like, after all that, he's like, I'm taking Alabama. So roll Tide. So kind of after all that, I like the Texans. They were my pick for the Super Bowl this year. I think the Lions are going to. I don't know how you. I mean, at this point, I don't think anyone would turn down a Lions versus Baltimore Super Bowl. I think that'd be pretty incredible.
I would love that.
So I think that'd be a good game. I got the Lions. I don't know how they lose this game realistically.
Yeah, I agree. It's all Lions, and it's not even just with Nico Collins out. If they still had Stephon Diggs, they would still have a chance too. But him going out is just a huge thing, and when you don't have a good passing game, you can't set up a run either. So why would you run out when all they have is Tank Dell out there? You're just going to stack the box and all right, run it. Throw it if you want. We're going to stop it. You're not going to get very far with just Tank Dell out there. So I don't know. It's Lions, and until anything happens, that NFC North division just in general is probably the toughest in football right now, and it's hard to pick against anybody in that. So Lions, Texans, whenever they start getting healthy, should make a good playoff run, but they have to get healthy first.
Agreed.
No, I agree with everything that both of you guys said, and I'm just going to follow suit. I got to go Lions here. I love the vibe and the energy behind this team right now. I may not pick against them for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. I think they're rolling. I think they made a statement last week in Green Bay, in the rain, on the road. Like, they're not fucking
first road
around,
game of
dude.
the season, like first outside game of the season for the Lions. Every game has been inside.
I think they're really well coached, and I think he has the knowledge and the weapons to put together a game plan to win in whatever situation that he is in. And I am on board the Detroit bandwagon, man. I really am. So give me the Lions.
Goff should be MVP.
Looks
Dude,
good.
the way he
Like, he's got more touchdowns than incompletions on the season. That's something else.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and jump in here, guys. Before I hand it over to you, Seven, I'm going to take the Jets and Cardinals this week, guys. I think kind of a surprising game from the Jets this last week against the aforementioned Texans. They looked all right. You know what I mean? It was a good game. Starting to put it together. And I'm excited to see if, a long week can give them enough time to keep this momentum going. Cardinals, to me, are a 50-50 team. I think this is going to be a great game. I'm excited to see, if Garrett Wilson can keep stepping up the way that he did last week. Give me,
Think
I don't know,
about
the
it.
Cardinals are at home, right? Let's,
Yeah.
let's, I'm gonna take the Jets, dude. Take the Jets on the
I'm
road.
doing the same. I like the Jets.
I'll take the Jets on the road.
I think they're starting to put the pieces together. I think things will start to go their way, but I'm liking the Jets right now.
You boys, wow. I guess this is where I make up my game on both of you. Because I'm taking the Cardinals. I think I the Jets are good when they play like they did in that second. Like someone was saying on a show I was watching there, they went from the first half talking about sell the team to super excited in the second half, after what they did. Like, yeah, obviously if you did that all year, like you should be 8-0 at this point, right? Like 9-0, So I'm taking the Cardinals, dude. I mean, that defense and I think James Conner is going to put up 150 yards on this defense. He's going to plow all over these dudes. I
Wow,
don't
real
know.
good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the Jets were already talking
Shoot
about
your
2 weeks
shot.
ago. Jets were already talking about what 3 weeks ago now. We can start and turn this season around. Rodgers. Yeah, look at our schedule. It starts with the Steelers. We got rolled by the Steelers. We're gonna go to New England and roll them. No, you got rolled by New England. Now you're gonna go into Arizona and they've won one game. How excited were they after that one game? They probably celebrated in that locker room like they just fucking made it to the AFC championship game.
But it wasn't against a nobody team, though. That's the thing. Primetime game, decent team. You just hyped up the Texans. They just beat them.
I I agree with that. Texans look bad. Texans are super injured right now, but no, I'm just taking the Cardinals. I'll end it there. I'm taking the Cardinals.
I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. It's almost like a coin toss game to me because yes, the Jets have the momentum right now. Rodgers just got his best friend in D. Adams back. That's great. But their run game has been awful lately. Like past 3 weeks, Brees Hall hasn't really been doing much.
No.
That Braylon Allen
Past 3
kid,
weeks, this season, dog.
he's got a couple of good games as somebody that has him in fantasy. He's got a couple of good games on the season.
Well,
But
90 receiving yards in a game helps.
yeah, exactly. But that's because all they had was Garrett Wilson to throw the ball
Yep.
to. Now that that's gone, who knows what's going to happen with Brees Hall? But I think, unfortunately, Kyler Murray's got more weapons to use with also McBride on the team. Marvin Harrison, if he can stay consistent, which he usually isn't, he's a great target. I don't know how to really feel. I think it's going to be whoever's quarterback makes the least amount of errors. Rodgers is starting to look pretty washed, and Kyler Murray can't see over his offensive line half the time. So I don't know. I would probably have to flip a coin, but I would have to say I'm going to go with the home team and take Arizona as well.
Perfect.
Love it.
Seven, being our guest this week, give us a game of the week.
My game of the week is Niners and Bucks. Biggest reason why is this is the closest we've seen CMC to playing this year. I think that's a huge, huge thing that they've been needing. They don't have a running back anymore. Jordan Madison has just been had a good
lately.
Yeah,
first couple
Mason
of good
sucked.
games. First couple of weeks he was great, and then that's
Injured.
it. Yeah, and then he got injured. And I don't know. I think what they're really missing is CMC. Ayuk being out doesn't help either, but he wasn't much help on the field regardless, except drawing coverage.
Really wasn't. Yeah.
No.
Debo and Kittle were always, the prime targets. And I always felt like Ayuk wanted number one money for being the fourth option on the team. It felt real weird to me. But I don't, I've never understood it. But I think it's a good bounce back game. But the Bucks are going to be pissed after an overtime loss that they fought hard to get to. You lose because of a coin toss. I think they're going to come in pretty hot. Even without Mike Evans and Godwin, they're still a great team. Kudos to Baker on having a great comeback, thanks to, having a good team around him. Imagine that, Browns.
Baker's a badass.
I like Baker. I felt bad whenever he was drafted to the Browns. In that moment, I was like, well, that's his career. He's pretty much screwed, but he's bounced back pretty good, and I root for him, even though he's with the Bucks. I like him as a player, so but easily give me the Niners on that. Give me the Niners. If CMC plays, give me the Niners.
If CSC doesn't play,
Give me the Bucks. I think that's
really,
yeah. If CMC does
that's
not
the
play,
deciding
give me the Bucks.
factor.
Yep.
All right.
I think even if CMC does play, like I don't think he's going to play that much, just because they will use Jordan. I don't think they want to get him hurt
They're
again.
gonna put him
think
on
they
a
wanna-
snap count.
Yeah.
Save him. I'll keep mine short and sweet. I like everything you said, Seven. I agree with all that. I honestly, I don't know a person that like isn't happy for Baker and his comeback. I root for the dude. I think it's awesome. I think he got screwed over in Cleveland. I'm glad Sean McVay, huge shout out to him for giving him a chance with the Rams and giving him that shot and him balling out that Thursday night game. He got his contract with the Bucks. I mean, he's second in the league, really behind everything with Lamar Jackson. So he's putting up a hell of a season. So I'm taking the Bucks at home in this one.
I am going to go right behind Jordan and say the exact same thing. I'm taking the Bucks. I like the Bucks at home, and I think that this is their get back game. They're pissed after losing to KC and OT.
Agreed.
Listen, boys, I would love to follow suit here, but honestly, if they were going to win one, it was going to be the one at Kansas City. I think the fact that they are down the weapons that they're down. I love Baker. I love the team. I wish they would win it, but I'm going to take the Niners. I have to.
All right.
All right, guys. Seven, thank you so much. I'm really glad you joined us, man. We had a really good interview with you last year with the player exclusive, so it's really awesome to have you back on the show, guys. That if you're listening, watching, whatever, run back, check that interview out. It was super fun to have him on. But before we close this out, Seven, I just want to take a couple of minutes to ask you how you're feeling. I know in our league specifically, it's a rough. It's a rough time, but how's fantasy going for you?
Rough couple years, eh?
Yeah.
Give us some thoughts.
Man, I like to say that I'm just on a skid right now, but it's been a couple years of a skid. I think of my first year when I did fantasy and I ended third, and I was like, great, I'm on a roll. I figured out what I'm doing here. And then ever since then, I've just been awful. I don't know what I'm doing half the time.
Yeah.
But I make moves picking up D-Hop, thanks to Seamus for dropping him onto the waivers.
Thanks
for no
to
reason.
me for dropping him, bro. Jeez.
A lot of people dropped him. I was looking at his history.
Tomato,
and
potato.
on and he was on and off rosters all season so far. So I'll take him. I'll pick up used trash. Tracy is the same way. Nobody wanted him, and I expected everybody to jump on him whenever he had that first game with the Giants as the number one back. And
honestly, I wish I would have.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's got a lot of potential, but it's the Giants. I was very hesitant on him, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I could squeak into playoffs. I'll feel a little bit better, but I'm just here for a good time. That's it.
Well, no, I love it, man, and it's it is what it is. Jordan said it best: 90% luck, 10% skill, man. There's not a lot you can do. I mean, we all read the same articles, we all listen to the same podcasts. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. But regardless, love your energy. Love that you're still here to keep playing. Play spoiler if you have to, if that's what it comes down to.
Yep.
I hope that it doesn't, but super excited that you wanted to join us again tonight, man. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Of course. And like I told you, whatever asked about coming on, somebody's got to be first from the league to come on here. And I'm glad to do it again. So hopefully everybody else will feel a little bit more confident in coming on.
Hey, I'm going to take this moment to call out Steven, Mr. Cortland Slutton. It's time, man. It's time. We got to get you on here. We got to get you talking about your team. We got to get you talking about your fantasy world. Come on, buddy. It's time to go.
Boo.
All right, guys.
All right, perfect. Well, that'll do it for another episode of the Get Sunday Covered podcast. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, or follow if you haven't already. Be sure to always hit us up to get you guys' Sundays covered. Till next week. Peace.
Later.
Peace.